Who installed it?
Some of my friends.
Your friend?
Yeah.
Okay. Your friend almost killed you? Good morning. It is Tuesday, January 2nd, 2024. I am on my way to a Rheem warranty call. I had a Weil McLean Ultra 155 maintenance scheduled for this morning, but they canceled last minute, so going to a Rheem call. It says the water heater's leaking water, so we'll see what happens. And when was this installed?
Yeah, it was like, it's not a month ago. It's a new brand. We bought it from Home Depot. The problem is like, when we installed it, the water was like coming and going, the hot water. This is a problem.
Okay, and how many times have they been here since they've installed it?
4 or 5 times.
4 or 5 times?
Yeah.
Who installed it?
Some of my friends.
Your friend?
Yeah.
Okay. So, your friend almost killed you?
Huh?
Your friend almost killed you. All of this black up here,
Yeah.
that's soot.
This one?
Soot, like carbon from a bad flame. It's not burning properly. It's similar to a car, how a car has an exhaust pipe. This is the exhaust pipe for the heater. Not only is it too small in size, but it can't be this flexible tubing. And yeah, it's pretty rough. It goes up there, but then it goes down, so you'll never get the draft that you need. Missing drip leg. But all this, the plastic, it's melted. So this isn't going to be covered under warranty because it's not installed properly. You're going to have it installed properly. You're going to have all the defects fixed.
No, but we don't, why the hot water is not coming?
So the hot water's not coming because inside of where the flame is, there's a little vial, like a little glass piece. And if it gets too hot, that glass piece will pop. And that shuts off the flame. And you're not able to light it again. Now that piece got too hot because it's not able to draft properly out of the heater.
So you're gonna explain it to him?
Sure, if you put him on the phone, I'll explain it. Yeah, this is not good. And what they taped over the glass here. So that was a good first job to start off the new year. System wasn't installed properly. It's a pretty big hazard. They actually need the power vented installed there because there's no chimney there. And there's definitely not enough combustion air in that small room. But they refuse payment because the unit's not covered under warranty if it's installed improperly. And both Rheem and Pipe Doctor make them aware of that. And they agree to that in order for us to come. But they refused payment. And they started getting very angry and everything. So I handed them a card. I told them that I'm leaving. And if they have any further questions, they can call Rheem. And I called Rheem and let them know of the situation, give them the model and serial number, and then we have pictures available to send them if they need. But I'm moving on to the next job now, which is pilot out on boiler. They're an existing customer. I believe it's Steam. So we'll see what happens. Okay, so this customer, we've been doing work with them for a while. They found us through YouTube. At 2 a.m. last night, their heat went down. He found that the pilot was out. He tried to relight it and couldn't get it to light. I was just showing him how I test the thermocouple, how we relight the pilot. That has to be held down for a certain amount of time to build up enough heat to generate that millivolt current. So, got a thermocouple right here. We're going to be putting in a new one because I was only getting 20 millivolts after about a minute. And I'll show you testing on this one. Hopefully it's just that. I'm gonna pull the pilot burner assembly and clean it just while I'm doing this because it takes a few seconds. Okay, as you see, I had my meter set up to read that thermocouple. One to the end, one to ground. Pulled out the burner tube next to the thermocouple, and now I can pull out this burner to replace that thermocouple and give the pilot assembly a good cleaning with a wire brush. And I pulled out that orifice. A couple of these holes on the side were actually plugged with white debris, and I stuck my brush in and cleaned it on the inside on both sides, and I cleaned this off as best as I could in there with the wire brush. So I'll just get it all reassembled. Okay, I'm holding down that plunger. You can see we got that pilot lit. Thermocouple tip is sitting in there. Got my voltmeter hooked up, set for DC, and now we wait. It's only been a couple seconds, but by now we were at around like 8 or so on the old one. So we should come up much higher on this one. But I gotta wait a full 60 seconds, got a few more to go, so we'll see what happens. So we got 28.5, still going up slowly, but I'll connect it to the gas valve and we should be good to go. And the pilot flame is holding with the new thermocouple. And I redid the gas tubing so it's easier to work on in the future. Got our cover plate back on. Gas valve on, power on. And does the thermostat still needs to power up?
I put it on right now.
Okay. And our relay just kicked in. This will make sure the water is not low. Too low water cutoffs. Has one failed, or it's just redundancy?
Redundancy.
Yeah.
They cut off that one last time.
Okay. Interesting header. Yeah, 2-inch, 2x3 heel tee, 2x2x3. It's a 3-inch header. And we got our flame kicked on. And our pilot burner must be located here. Sticker has fallen off. That's not gonna stay. But we'll just make sure that everything runs smoothly. Because he's paying for an hour. We're not gonna walk out of here just because he has a flame. We're gonna make sure that it burns okay. I'll do a combustion analysis as well. And just went to get the testo, but it reminded me I got 6.5 gallon buckets. I think it's cooler having 5 gallons, and I could throw more tools and stuff in if I need or whatever I use it for. Hold more water, or hold the same amount of water with less of a chance to spill. But grab the testo and make sure it's burning safely. So I just ran back to the truck because surprisingly nobody's put stickers on the equipment. And we've been here a few times, but the customer was like, all good? And I was like, yeah, so far. And he was like, what do you mean? I was like, no, you got me for an hour, so I'm gonna make sure everything's running well. And he was like, oh, by all means, if you want to check out more things, please check it out. So yeah, we want to make sure that when we leave here, we don't come back. And I just covered the old company sticker, which was crooked, and now ours is straight. I don't know if it's going to be reversed on camera, but I'll get one on this water heater as well, and the combustion test results in a packing slip, and I'll show you the results. Here are our results: 0 CO, 421 flue temp, 8.202, 7.1 CO2, negative 0.023 inches of draft, efficiency of 78. Sounds like we're starting to boil, surging a little bit. Looks like our pressure gauge is also off. Let's check that, because if we have that much pressure, that's concerning. No, we don't have pressure yet. Okay, so I told him about the pressure gauge, and somebody else has already made him aware of that. It'd be nice to replace it, but he doesn't want to right now. It's not the end of the world. If there were pressure issues, then I would like to have it definitely replaced, and so I could know the pressure, but if he doesn't want to do it, it is what it is. It is surging a little bit, which has been happening for him. But it's making steam. It's running without issues. The low water cutoff's not being triggered. It might only just be like surging in the sight glass. But yeah, I think that's going to be it for this call, and we'll head on to the next. That was nice. Collected payment, told him about everything, and just immediately hands over the card. What's the damage? Okay. It's nice when customers are they're willing to pay. I mean, nobody wants to pay, but he's willing to pay without any issues. Doesn't argue the price. I feel like I've been getting a lot of arguments on pricing and not wanting to pay lately. So it's nice when he was just like, nope, let's do it, get it done. I want it fixed. This next call I'm headed to is a furnace. We don't see very many furnaces. I did see one last week, but we'll see what's going on there. Ooh. It says it's blowing cold air, which we'll see what it is. I don't like working on furnaces, somewhat because of how infrequently we actually get to see them, but also because I'm always a little bit more worried on the safety end for the homeowner if the heat exchanger is cracked and if I'm just not seeing it. You know, I check with the camera, I check by testing with a manometer and by testing with a combustion analyzer, but still it's one of those things that I just don't like. I don't like furnaces. I think a lot of the heat exchangers crack here because the ductwork is for a certain size unit, but then they put a bigger unit in and you don't get enough airflow over the heat exchanger. But I don't know. See what happens there. Okay, so got some issues here. We got some flex venting for gas dryer, which you can't do here. But here's the furnace. When I walked in, it was heating, and thermostat was set for 71. We hit 78, so interesting that it's overheating. But earlier today, it wasn't heating. Right now, we got a heartbeat on our control board. So, no errors. I'm suspecting the thermostat, it's an Ecobee. You can see we're very dusty, and I pulled out a pretty dusty filter. So, just waiting for the thermostat to go through its calibration and see what happens. And there's the base of our chimney. We got a piece of 3-inch, or a piece of 4-inch from the heater just going in there with no liner. It's definitely gonna have to mention that to him, let him know that's an issue, especially not having it sealed like that. You could just see the pipe ending right there. Okay, I just jumped out R&W. Inducer seems to be moving real slow, but let's see. The flames do look okay. No rollout. I'm seeing. Fan yet. Take a better look at that. It's hard to see him. There we go. Pretty not really any movement, and if there is any, it's because I have this opened up right here. Let's see what happens. So I just removed our jumper, but we're still running, so I'm going to see what the thermostat says. Okay, so
Head northwest on Norfelt Boulevard.
I couldn't find or duplicate a real issue while I was testing the equipment. The only thing is that the thermostat has multiple errors, that it hasn't been able to heat within a certain amount of time. It's an Ecobee. And when I got there, it was reading 74.
Turn right onto Jean Lane.
And then right after
Then
that, it was
turn
reading
right onto
69.
Fallon Avenue.
And then after I power cycled the equipment, it read 78. So the thermostat's, something's going on with it. I recommended replacing it, but the homeowner is of the opinion that it's okay to have to restart something every once in a while. Like our phones, it's the same idea.
Turn right
So that's what he wanted to do,
Then
which is
turn
fine. There's a cat in the road. So he didn't go for the thermostat replacement, but what I did do was I cleaned the unit. I made sure that the unit was burning safely, that the heat exchanger was
At
okay.
the stop sign, turn left onto
And
Fallon
now I'm
Avenue.
headed on to my
Then
next
turn right
job,
onto
which
Serencia Boulevard.
my schedule keeps bouncing back and forth. Mike took 2 of my jobs off, so right now this is the only one left on it,
At the next
which
stop
is another
sign, turn
Rheem
right.
water heater warranty call. So we shall see what happens there. I don't like going to these and not being able to fix anything.
At the stop sign, turn right onto Serencia
I don't like
Boulevard.
dealing with
Then
customers
turn right
that
onto Elmont Road.
don't want to pay, or a lot of these Rheem warranty customers are very agitated
At the next light, turn right.
because it's usually a new heater and they don't understand why it's broken. Now sometimes things just break, and sometimes homeowners are understanding of that, like, yeah, okay, the gas valve broke,
At
it's
the light,
defective, they
turn
make
right
a million of
onto
them a
Elmont
year,
Road.
one of them's gonna break. And it's nice that Rheem sends it out next day, and then we just come and we put it in, and it's done. And some homeowners are like appreciative that we could just get it out of the way. But others are, things are failing because they're not installed properly, and they don't understand that. They think that Rheem should still fix it because it's not the homeowner's fault that they got the wrong unit, or the homeowner's fault that it got installed improperly, which kind of is their fault. I mean,
In 3/4 of a mile.
yeah, the homeowner's not going to know how to put it in, but the homeowner should be able to hire someone competent to install it. I mean, if you look on Rheem's service providers, we show up. They can pay us to put in a water heater, and they choose to have their friends do it, or their uncle or their brother, and then everything breaks and they get angry. So we'll see what happens on this one. Okay, so that stunk. After I left the furnace, the gentleman was texting that the unit was rapidly going on and off.
At the stop sign,
And
turn right onto
what was
Jean
happening
Lane.
was it was going
Then
on,
turn right onto
it
Fallon
would
Avenue.
light, and then it would go off. It would go on, it would light, then it would go off. Then it would go on, it wouldn't light, it would go off. The entire time without any errors. So I started testing absolutely everything, and I couldn't find any like direct issue other than the hot surface igniter. The ohms were low. So for testing, I put in a new hot surface
At the
igniter.
stop sign, turn right
And
onto
same
Emily
thing.
Avenue. Then turn
Go on,
right onto
not
Fallon
ignite,
Avenue.
go off. Checked gas pressure, pressure switches, amp draws, voltages, like going to the gas valve, going to the inducer while everything was happening. And I felt stumped. I actually called Mike, and Mike said it sounds like it's going to be the control board.
At the stop sign, turn right
And
onto Fallon Avenue.
I don't have that control board, so we have to order it. And it's not a cheap part to replace. So the customer was like, oh, this is
At
how
the
I'm going to
next
have to
stop
start
sign,
out my new
turn
year,
left.
spending this much money. And I was like, yeah, I know it's unfortunate, but things happen. And he supposedly has friends that do HVAC, and he thinks that he can get this part for cheaper. If he gets it and we install it, the only thing about that is we won't guarantee it. So see what
At the
happens
stop
with
sign,
that.
turn left onto Fallon Avenue. Then turn right onto
Just
Serencia
thought it was
Boulevard.
so weird that it would go off but then not show any errors.
At the next stop sign,
But
turn right.
headed now to that Ream call, and we'll see what happens there. So it was a no hot water call, and we had been here before. I saw that the pilot was out, so I just immediately pulled the burner to take a look inside, because there is a piece called the TRD that will go bad, but you could see on this burner how absolutely caked up it is with carbon. That little ring in the middle is supposed to be completely open, and it's completely plugged. The venting was fixed on the last service call that another technician was there for, but here I'm showing that ring in the middle. That's where the gas passes through, and it's completely plugged. The whole burner assembly is filthy. But after inspecting everything, I put Ream on the phone because I was suspect of the gas valve, and this is kind of what happened after that. Okay, so this came out from in there, and there's plenty more that I just can't get to. Not sure what this is or why it's here, if it's related.
Wondering if
And we're plugged.
when they had it installed and they, because obviously with this being a Home Depot unit.
Okay, so that was somewhat nice.
Head north on Argyle Road.
That
Then turn left
water
onto Tulip
heater
Avenue.
is clearly
Turn left.
carbonized because of improper installation. Filling it with
At the light,
I can't
take a
see.
slight right turn onto Covert Avenue.
I hate it when I have turns like this. Oh, I can see with the camera better. Okay, so I finished up with that. My homeowner was at first not happy because she has had to spend some money in
For about 17
bringing the
miles,
system up to
continue
code,
straight.
and then it turns out that there's also a clog in the gas valve that can't really be removed properly. But Ream is giving the customer a unit for free, a warranty replacement unit, and then they will pay us to install it. The only cost to the homeowner would be if we have to take the unit out and bring it back to Home Depot. They only allow for an hour worth of travel time, so taking it to Home Depot, dealing with Home Depot, which is a nightmare, and then bringing it out of Home Depot. So yeah, the homeowner's going to try to get the units to Home Depot themselves, and then we put it in, and they shouldn't have to pay any money. But hopefully you enjoyed watching the video. It was an easy day. It's 3:09 p.m. I'm about an hour away from my house, and I am going to stop at Taco Bell. But hopefully you enjoyed watching the video. Like it if you liked it. Comment any advice or criticisms or feedback, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.
Turn left, then